It's time to meet the faces behind the microphone on
the Rural Radio Network.
On the Rural Radio Network.
The Rural Radio Network.
On the Rural Radio Network.
We're on the Rural Radio Network.
On the Rural Radio Network.
On the Rural Radio Network.
This team is excited to bring you trusted agriculture news, weather updates, and market reports to listeners all across the Midwest. So stay tuned for our latest segment on Meet the Broadcasters. Welcome back to our Meet the Broadcasters segment. This week we have a very special episode with one of our brand new team members, Lacy, joining us, who will be taking on some of the market aspects on the Rural Radio Network. Welcome, Lacy, to the team.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
That's great. And so if you could go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit about your background and your connection to agriculture.
All right. Well, my name is Lacey Shippy. I actually live in a small town called Colombe, South Dakota, which is only 10 minutes or so from the Nebraska border. I grew up in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia on a dairy, beef, and poultry farm. We had a few show hogs and field crops and did a little bit of everything. Grew up loving agriculture, very deeply immersed in it, but I also had a love for music, country music, bluegrass music. I played music myself and was just in love with radio. So I had this dream of being on the radio one day, and I started working when I was 14, doing small shifts on the weekends, built up to having a midday show on a station there, and wanted to incorporate my love for agriculture, and they let me add in a few market updates, news stories, and it kind of took off from there. I pursued agricultural economics in college at Virginia Tech, and kind of did some internships in the radio world. And when I graduated from Virginia Tech, I moved to Yankton, South Dakota, to work for WNAX for a little while, and then I met my husband and moved out of it for a little bit. I've been busy raising kids, and my oldest is now 8, and this opportunity came up to let me, be on the radio and still stay at home with my kids, and I think it's awesome, and I'm really excited about it.
That's absolutely amazing that, you can transform your career, working with your family, and also it's very interesting to, have somebody that moved out from Virginia and is now in the Midwest, and it's really interesting meeting a lot of broadcasters myself. It seems they all come from Minnesota, so it's kind of fun to have somebody from Virginia headed to the Midwest to help us out. But so you talk a little bit about some of your internships that also got you to this point. So, I'm currently in an internship myself with exploring broadcasting. How did some of those opportunities kind of solidify your want to do broadcasting?
They will obviously me channel what I was doing in college with broadcasting, taking the econ side of it and really being able to adapt that into what I was learning in class and how I could put that and kind of tune myself into ag broadcasting and kind of moving away from that DJ role that I was so used to. And then I went to work for Brownfield Ag News in Missouri, and that was life-changing. I went there and met some of the most awesome people, and they had me come back in November to the NAFB convention, the Farm Broadcasters Convention, and I met so many people, and I went with a very ferocious attitude that I wanted a job in ag broadcasting, and so I collected all the names and all the numbers, every business card, went back to Blacksburg, and I emailed every single one of them about potential jobs and just kind of following up with everybody. And that's when I met or got in further contact with the folks there in Yankton. And it was that connection with my internship and them taking me along with them that really helped me solidify, the people and the contacts that I needed to make this happen.
That's amazing. And even taking a step back, I know in our previous conversations, we were talking about livestock herding, something that we were both involved in growing up. So what are some of those, other avenues from your childhood that helped you build those skills and those communication skills? And I know you said you started at a young age at a radio station and getting involved in those ways. So how did some of those skills that you built up over time really shape your career?
Oh gosh, I was a 4-H kid, and I have there's 6 siblings in my family, and I'm number 5, and so I tagged along with my older siblings forever doing, the livestock judging, and, they were also FFA, the creed speaking, and, the public speaking aspect of that, and then when it was time for me to be a part of it, I did a lot of public presentation competitions through 4-H, and, we showed livestock, and that was a lot more than just taking an animal into the ring. We sold our livestock at the end of the week, and my siblings and I went, and I think we visited at least 200 folks every summer. Personally, we knocked on their doors and, in their businesses and went and spoke to them and invited them out to the fair to come support us, and that really helped me be able to walk into a room with a complete stranger and talk to them about what I was there to talk about, and that did a lot for me. The livestock judging, obviously, with the reasons and having to go in and talk to judges that are scrutinizing you and building your public speaking that way, that was a tremendous learning experience, and I know everyone hates the reasons when you're in the trenches of livestock judging, but it's something that I really actually miss, and my coach would probably drop dead to hear that
Yeah.
because of how much we groaned about it, but yeah, it was definitely those years of 4-H that helped me learn how to speak and getting out there and just meeting people and being able to compose yourself in front of people.
That's awesome, and I know that, livestock judging's also been a big part of my, life, talking about some of those public speaking skills and really building off those, so it's really fun, hear broadcasters who've been in the industry for a while talking about, that's where I got my start, and it's like, "Oh, there's so many similarities," to how I've started, I guess, building where I wanna go in ag communication. But kind of taking a little bit of pivot, so I've also asked all of the broadcasters, what have been some of their favorite stories that they've covered over the years throughout their career, or any favorite events that you may have gotten to cover?
Oh goodness, there are so many. Oh, I remember during my internship when I was here in Missouri, getting up bright and early with Tom Seaver to go to the Illinois FFA convention, and that was so much fun because we went and we talked to so many kids that day, and that's always fun. And just like we're doing now, to look back on your
Mhm.
years and watching these kids and be like, "Oh, I used to be there," I was a nervous teenager that didn't know quite where I wanted to be. And it was the drive there was so entertaining because he's such a hilarious
Yeah.
guy. And, so that was a lot of fun. And there have just been so many, um, when I worked at Yankton, that was I mean, I went so many places, and I'd never been in South Dakota before. I was fresh out of college, and they just handed me the keys and said, "Go," and gave me a map, and it was amazing to just get out on my own with just me and my equipment and just go out and, it forces you to get out of your comfort zone,
Mhm.
but it was so great for me because I got to see some amazing things, got to, talk to so many people, and I was talking earlier with some folks, I met my husband that way, and
Yep.
it's amazing how when you just get out there and do something, and the stories that you cover will lead you to something else. I went to, a live broadcast at a rodeo, and that led me here, and that led me here, and then I met
Yep.
my husband, and it's a lot of fun to just to think back on all those stories, but there's way too many to pick just one, I
Oh,
think.
yes. I was like, I've been asking all of the broadcasters, and, we have a few on the team that have only been in for a few years and some that have been here for decades, and so it's really fun to hear them talk through the stories that they've enjoyed over the past however many years of their career, but also, kind of pivoting to the future. Obviously, you're just starting with the Rural Radio Network, so what are some things that you're looking forward to with the Rural Radio Network, or even just some goals that you have in general for the future?
I am really looking forward to being able to get back into radio. Like I said, I've been raising kids, and my kids are so excited that this is something that mom gets to do, and they can watch, and I hope that they learn from it and are excited about it like I am. And I'm ready to get back in it, and I love people, and I love radio, and I think, obviously, ag radio is so important. Keeping up to date on the markets is crucial, and so I'm excited to kinda play that important role, and hopefully I'm gonna do it well.
Yeah. That'll be great. I mean, we wish you all the best and are super excited for you to be on the team. And I know as watching my parents go through their careers, my mom was a school teacher, so I got to see what she did every day, being at the same school. And then also my dad with the embryo business. So I'm sure they're very excited to have you still around, but you still get to watch what you do. But before we wrap up, I do have some fun get to know you questions.
Okay.
So my first one is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Always true.
I agree. I love chocolate
Life
ice
is too short for
cream.
boring old vanilla.
Thank
Always
you.
chocolate.
Thank you. I have tried to convince people of that. I've even gotten into arguments with my friends that led to an Instagram poll of how for people to vote on which was better. So I totally agree. Another one is, if you could have a lifetime supply of anything, what would it be?
Patience.
Oh,
Coming from the
honestly.
perspective of a parent, I would say
Yeah.
patience at all times. I could just reach out and just have it. But,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I don't know. I think coffee,
Oh,
coffee, caffeine on hand
yeah.
at all times would be nice.
Honestly, I do not blame you there. If you had a song that was the soundtrack to your life, what would it be?
Oh goodness. I don't know. Something by Elvis,
Ooh,
probably.
that's fun.
Or something with a banjo in it,
Yeah.
maybe. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
there
That's
you
a hard
go.
question. I don't know.
Yeah. I was asked that one time, and I was like, probably On the Road Again, I feel like
Very
that's always
true.
that would
Yes.
probably be fine, but alright, if you had an animal that best describes your personality, what would it be?
Oh my. Hmm. I don't know. I'm pretty laid back, so I guess a laid back animal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say probably some kind of dog because I like
Oh,
people
yeah.
and I'm fairly laid back.
Do you have any family pets on the ranch?
We do. We have 2 dogs,
Oh,
a little
cute.
black mutt, Lily, and I have my Basset Hill, Pearl.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so cute.
she's a sweetheart.
That's amazing. Well, before we, I guess, drag on too long, my final question to all of the broadcasters have been is, what is a piece of advice that you always live by, or a piece of advice for young people looking to get into broadcasting?
My favorite piece of advice I was given, um, I was probably I don't even know if I started radio then. I was either in middle school or barely in high school, and Orion Samuelson came to speak to, I wanna say it was, um, a cattlemen's group. I forget exactly why he was there in Weir's Cave at community college, and I went up to him and introduced myself, and he was larger than life. And and he, I told him what I wanted to do for a living. He laughed at me because here I am just a pipsqueak, but he told me, he said, "Be so good at your job that they can't afford you, but love it so much you would do it for free." And that's probably in his book, I imagine.
Oh, probably.
But it is I have kept that with me since then, so
Honestly, that is a great piece of
it
advice.
is.
Yes. So thank you so much for sitting down with me. And I guess before we go, is there anything else that you would like the listeners of Rural Radio Network, that now you're a new voice that they get to hear? Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I just hope I do the job well, and I'm excited. Can't wait.
Yes, we're super excited to have you, and thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for our next segment on Meet the Broadcasters.